Hey team, Matty231 here. Another video today on the 211 E55. We're replacing the Clockspring and the steering angle sensor. So, two issues I've been having with the 211 is firstly, can you hear that? It's like a high-pitched clicking noise. So the indicator stalks, like something's broken inside, and apparently that's the Clockspring. Which, hey, the car's, 18 years old now. It's done a pretty good run so far, so I'm happy to replace that if it needs to be replaced. But I'm also getting the odd ESP light coming up, ESP not available. After scanning the computer, we had a steering angle sensor light coming up. So the two components are already built into the steering wheel separately. And I've ordered them and they're here on the shelf. So we're going to install those today. Where are they? Here, I think. Yeah, steering. I think that's it. That is it. Yep, that guy there. Clockspring contact and our steering angle sensor. So see? Both, I don't know if this is a genuine part. I think they both are. The Clockspring definitely is, obviously. So we're gonna, first off guys, before we get into anything, we're gonna unplug the battery for 15 minutes or so. And then once it's been sitting with the battery unplugged for 15 minutes, we can then get on to taking the steering wheel apart. And the reason we do this is just obviously electrical safety precaution, so we don't break anything in the electrical system, but also because we're actually taking the airbag out. You don't want power or remnant power to be stored in the airbag system, so hence why you want to give it 15 minutes. So we'll get our 10mm out and we'll take that negative off and we'll count to 15 minutes and we'll come back and start taking the steering wheel out. Now, just one tip before we do that. If you're taking your steering wheel off, make sure you pull it out and you bring it down a little bit. Probably about there is fine, because you've got two access ports on the back here, one on each side. So if your steering wheel's right up here, you're not going to get those out. And when you pull the battery out, you've got no electric steering movement. So we'll do that. We've done that now. Now we'll do the battery. So while we wait for that 15 minutes, what we can do is just start taking off the back of the airbag. The screws on the back of the airbag. So as I said, one there. The 211s all have them the same, and it's basically one of these Torx bits. Now I've got a sort of special tool, you could say, like a I don't even know what you call these. We call them Allen keys in New Zealand, like hex Allen keys, but they're not actually Allen keys, I suppose. Or maybe they are. I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, I think it's a T25 or a T30. So we just put the back part in through the hole. Just be gentle that you don't scratch your steering wheel. Yeah, that's good actually. That's about it. Yep. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty, but you're in reverse, so don't turn the screw the wrong way. Yep, there we go. Cool. So you just sort of slot it in, lock it, turn it, out, turn it, lock it in, turn it, out. And I suggest you do it sort of together in unison. So swap to the other side now and do the other side. Just, especially when you are putting the steering wheel back in, because basically as you undo these screws, that's a tough one. Oh god, that is tough. The only problem is you don't really have much room to move here. There we go. So as you do it, this starts to come out. It'll start to separate out as we loosen these screws. I must say this side's a lot tighter for some reason. I take this off relatively often, once a year or so. Like the last time I took this off, I put this beautiful new steering wheel on that I got from Russia last year. Like brand new old stock E55 wheel. It's so nice. And I've already marked it somewhere. Oh, maybe I haven't. I was so angry though, eh? It's literally like perfect. The old steering wheels I've got up on the rack, I want to hopefully reupholster them one day and use them. So guys, we've undone the bolts at the back. Now we can just simply pull the steering wheel and tilt it towards us, like this. And you'll see on the back, there's two clips. There's two clips here, as you'll see, so you'll want to put a flathead screwdriver under the further end away from my camera and pry this clip up, and then you can pull the whole thing out. So screwdriver in, lift it gently, pull it out. So we've got the airbag out, guys. There's those two connectors there. There's also a third connector just there. It clips on the bottom edge, so it's a little bit hard to get to, but you clip that and pull it out, and I believe that's for the horn. So we'll just gently put that on the floor there. And now we want to take the actual steering wheel off, and we do that by firstly undoing that big sucker there. So I've got a hex bit here, a H10, and I'm just going to blast it with my impact. But the other way to do it is to simply put again the bit on and a big breaker bar, and basically hold the wheel and have somebody else turn counterclockwise, break that nut off. I've had it off a few times, but to be honest, some cars like the 210 E55 before I had this, I haven't even tried it yet, but before I had an impact gun, like we literally were like lifting our weight off trying to break the nut, and we still couldn't get it off. So hopefully yours isn't seized up like the one in my 210 is, but I know I can get this off easily, so we'll give this a go. On the highest setting. So we've got that off. Perfect. So it obviously has thread lock on from the factory, but to be honest, yeah, it's up to your discretion with what you put on afterwards. I haven't bothered personally, as long as you make sure it's real tight. So now what we want to do is just be mindful of where your wheel is sitting. So I'll show you. See, there's that 12 o'clock mark on the steering shaft. Just make sure you remember to line that up when you put the wheel back on, so it should be exactly square. Sometimes you can like shine a light in there, shine a torch in there, and just get like a little marker and just mark the tooth on the wheel that it sits on. I might just do that myself now to make sure I've got it accurate, because you don't want to put everything back together and find the wheels off by one or two teeth, and you know, you're driving down the road with a bit of an angle on the wheel. So we'll do that quickly now, and then basically we'll just slide this off. We'll just gently slide the whole wheel off. Cool, so we'll just gently pull the wheel off, like so. And you'll find out that you need to just thread the harnesses here through the little porthole, and also by the clock spring there's another little harness. Slowly and gently pull it out. There we go. Cool, we've done that. So now team, we've taken off the wheel and we're left with the clock spring. Now it always should really sit in this sort of upright position here, and you just want to be careful, don't start spinning this, having fun with it, because you'll break it fully. But this one obviously is toast anyway, apparently. Right, so you know, according to the the guide, the WIS guide from Mercedes, you're supposed to take the whole electrical column assembly off. So there's another T30 there, or T27 they said, and this should slide off as one piece, but I've like been tugging at this for a while now and I can't get it off, and I don't want to break it. But you know, looking at the instructions, we literally have to undo these 3 bolts anyway, pull it off, and then our steering angle sensor is in there as well. So we're just going to do that, guys. I'm not, you know, I'm not busting my ass trying to do it the other way and then I'll cock something up. So we'll just undo these 3 torque screws here. They're very small. They're probably what's this one? T10. So we'll undo these 3 and then we'll pull the clock spring off. This one's broken anyway. Well, I'm hoping it is. So, you know, hey, we can't damage it too much. So there's our clock spring, guys. So we'll have a look at that shortly. And so you've got to be careful when you pull it out. You know, straight away this thing's spun around a few times. So I believe it sits like that. Yeah, it does. It sits about there. Yeah, like that. So just be careful, don't let that start spinning, even though this one's broken. Now what we'll do is remove the steering angle sensor, which is here. So the steering angle sensor is here. It's simply held on by this one single Phillips screw. So I can just undo that here. And then we should just be able to gently wriggle this out, and we should be good to go. Now, I think that's the steering lock there. Just be careful you don't start turning stuff though, guys. We don't want to spin the steering wheel or anything like that. Now, just one thing. So this is the steering angle sensor on my E55. Now this is a April 2004 build, but apparently later cars, probably not long after this build, had a steering angle sensor that looks quite different. It looks like a Clockspring. So if you've got one that doesn't look like mine, that's fine. It's just got a different assembly to this one. I think this one's probably a little more simpler to install though. So we'll just stick with what I've got here, but yeah, you might see something different. So we'll just undo that Phillips there. I've got far too big a Phillips here, but it's very lightly torqued on there, so that's fine. We're not going to damage the threads. We'll undo that and we'll pull this out and have a look at it on the table, because apparently this is faulty. Now I don't know whether this could actually be just fixed, like maybe these contacts here, as you can see, perhaps they are just really dirty maybe and they need a bit of a clean, you know. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, that was simple enough. I'm probably not going to bother cleaning anything in here. I think everything looks pretty good. I'm not too sure what that is though, that little contraption there. Just looking at it, team, there's a bit of plastic remnants on this tube here. Okay, so that's our broken part. Oh, that's good. I'm glad we found that, because I would have hated to have left that in there. So that's where, I believe this is where, oh look, here we go. Ah, now that's cool, I've never seen that before. So that's how that works. So obviously this thing here must push against it and flick it back into the middle. So it's in, then it hits it. When you go around, when you turn the steering wheel far enough, bang, and it knocks it back out into the center again. Well, that's quite funky, isn't it? So we'll take the steering angle sensor with us. It looks pretty good to me, really. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it has always had a code about it, like periodic issues with it. So I might keep it as a spare, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, she's pretty old. So we've got our brand new steering wheel sensor here, which we'll install. That's good. And our clock spring, so here's our new one. As you can see here, it's got a cover over the springs. It's also got this little lock in place, which is quite good. So, and yeah, so here's that part, guys. Here's that. This part here is the part that breaks off and causes that clicking noise. And that's what does the indicator. So this has obviously fallen off and it's just got caught in something and made that clicking noise. So if we look at the back of this steering sensor, you'll see it's missing, it's sheared off. I think there, whereas that one still has it sticking out. This one's sheared off. So the sensor itself is probably good as gold, there's probably nothing wrong with it. But unfortunately, just that little plastic piece is obviously fatigued and broken off over time, which, you know, it's done a pretty good job for the age of the car. So what we'll do now is we'll just install this in reverse order. First, I'm just going to clean the steering column, just make sure everything's out of there. Then we'll slot that back in, screw this back in, put our wheel back on. It's all in reverse order, guys. I'm not going to video it all, but we'll turn the car on and make sure it's all honky-dory. So team, steering wheel's back on, power's connected. Haven't turned the car on yet. Plug the scanner in. We'll go to, I think it's chassis. No. Oh, yeah, an ESP. That's it. Chassis, ESP. Read codes. We should still have the previous codes there. Steering angle sensor coming up. Electronic selector level module. That's also another one. That's to do with the actual shifter mechanism there, which is a lovely expensive item. Yeah, so this is our one here, guys. Initialization of the steering angle sensor failed several times. So we'll just reset this. We'll just erase these. Start it fresh again. Code's cleared. Sorry, my screen's real bright for some reason. That's better. Turn the ignition off. Obviously we've got a little ESP not available diagnostic message coming up. 10 seconds about now. We'll turn this back on again. Yes. No systems. Okay, cool. Now what we'll do is turn the car on. Cool. Obviously we've got an ABS light because we're in test mode. What we'll do is we'll just turn the wheels fully from left to right. I don't think it's required to then back to center. Just to give the steering angle sensor a full revolution. Read the codes again. Cool. So it looks like we're good now. Yeah, okay. I don't know about any of that. Yeah. So that looks like it's fixed it. Only time will tell. Like, I need to go for a drive properly and make sure it is. But I'm pretty confident, guys. Put a brand new sensor in, new clock spring. You know, what else? There couldn't be any issue with that further. Obviously, we might still have an issue with the electronic selector module. That might be an issue. Or maybe they're connected together and maybe there was an issue that was just triggered by this one sensor. I don't know. So we'll drive it for a few weeks. And yeah, I'll put it in the comments in the video if it comes back up again. Otherwise, you know it's worked out well. Anyway, guys, it's starting to rain here. So getting a bit wet. So I'll wrap the video up there and move on. Cheers.